Welcome to episode number 11 of Find Your Success. Today we have another amazing guest, really a special human here in Albuquerque, Dipo Alam. Thanks for showing up today, man.
Thank you, man. Always be my pleasure.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And a lot of people know you for many reasons, but one reason that I know you is for your faith, for your Christian faith, and for how open you are with that. And I feel like I had to say that up front.
Thank you, man. I mean, there's no life apart from God, so there's no way to hide it, you know?
I agree, and I'm glad you're here. You've done a lot of really cool things. You've built a lot of really cool stuff. You've also worked your butt off. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, work ethic is.
You still got some left?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta keep going, man. Work ethic been one of my big asset, you know, that being trained over the years since my childhood, you know, from my background in soccer and just, you know, school and everything, going to academy, going to boarding school. So, I mean, definitely, man, I gotta keep going with that work ethic.
Yeah.
Just gotta channel it differently, but always gotta have it in me, dude.
Oh, I love to hear that you're evolving in ways that make sense.
Yeah.
That help you answer your life's calling.
Yeah.
And to start off, where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Indonesia. So it's pretty much Southern Asia and everything. So Indonesia is the unique thing is I'm Chinese descendant. So Indonesia is actually a Muslim country. So it's like 90% is actually Muslim over there. Like they're Islam, you know, is like, so it's big different. And then I was growing up as a Catholic. My parents still Catholic. And then actually when I came to United States, that's the time that I start stepping into my own faith and belief. I mean, I grew up believing in Christ, of course, all the time as Catholic, but I start seeing Christianity as the way that I want to worship and the way of living instead of just like religion. So that's the time that I actually start getting closer to Christianity even more.
Wow, I didn't mean to go into that, but that's pretty interesting that you grew up in an atmosphere that wasn't Christian based.
Yeah.
And you still, you know, ended up in the Christian faith.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. At what age did you come to the States?
I was 17 years old actually. 2006. It was 2006 when I came
that went
here.
by fast, huh?
yeah, dude. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So.
And why did you come over here? I guess.
So the original plan was soccer.
Yeah,
so
soccer.
I was chasing, you know, the dream to be a pro soccer player. So I was actually in Netherlands. I was in Europe before I came to United States. I was 15 years old. I'll go over there, and then the coach from the team in Netherlands actually become the academic coach in Chivas USA at that time. So it was their first year. They were like, hey, do you want to come to USA? Because I know you're actually big with academic and everything, because Asian parents, dude, like my parents, like, you better go to college, you better get a degree, because it was just, you know, I'm blessed enough that I was doing really good at school. So they were like, you got to get both. There's no way that you're just going to chase the dream without having the backup plan, right? So that's kind of how it is. And then end up from there, actually, I came to United States for soccer. Yeah, and then I was going to college too, of course.
Wow. Well, that mindset served you well, though.
Yeah.
Looking at the resources that you have, excelling in different things, and continuing to work on both of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. How did you end up here?
Albuquerque, New Mexico. I mean, again, that's another God's way of being funny. It's just God always take me from, again, like people think in the craziest way. I was in Los Angeles, of course, and then I was actually 22. And then I was working with Potato Corner Company, of course. And then they send me to different states. Wherever they need help, they send me over to train people, push their sales, setting up their business, you know. So they send me to Lubbock, Texas first. And it's the same owner actually owned New Mexico. So when they sent me here, I was like, this is it, the Cottonwood Mall. And I was like, who opened here? Like, you know, you're from the big city to over here, you know. And then I was staying here for 9 days. But from that time, and I went back to LA, and it just give it in my heart, like, that's where you are. Time to go to the desert. I mean, it's just like, time to be the wells. You got to dwell in order for you to living well. So God give me like that wells dwell, time to be well. And I never really questioned. And when God put it in my heart, I remember December 7, I moved here. December 7, 2011.
No kidding.
Yeah, I moved here, and then again, I never thought I'm gonna stay here. I didn't even want to buy a house that time. Like apartment for the first 4 or 5 years, like no way I'm gonna stay here. No way I'm gonna stay here. I'm just gonna set it up. I'm gonna head out. But God's funny.
Yeah.
And this is actually the place where my entrepreneur started, my leadership skill being shaped, and it's just take me to the next level, of course, you know?
Well, there's something to be said about just trusting and surrendering and walking through that process. It's incredibly simple, but it's also incredibly hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a skill to be worked on, is to let go and to let
God.
God's will be done.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
It is hard, man. I mean, especially, I'm working on that every single day because we are human beings, right? We always wanna control the result, but sometimes God changing it in my mind, like the result is byproduct of the moment, of the journey, of the process that I'm putting you into, right? You know, we can pray like Daniel never prayed that God deliver me from the lion den. Moses never like, God, there's a Red Sea, deliver me. Nope. But when you actually show up and you actually trusting, being faithful, even though you're in the lion den, even though you are in the fire, you are facing the Red Sea, you are just like all these difficulties, that's the time that you go to the next level. And God always take me to that season after season, man, and I always see it. And I was just like, let you know, like you're saying, let His will be done, you know. And I'm in one of that season right now. I'm back in one of that season of
Love that, man.
isolation. But every time God isolated me, I'm bouncing back even higher, dude. But it's just like time to humble yourself because, again, man, God is funny. Every time like that, I was like, oh, I'm the man in soccer. I was the youngest one being called for national team. And next thing you know, God sent me here. Guess what I did? Washing dishes. My first job, a dishwasher at buffet. I never worked all of my life. I play soccer, I make money. He make me cleaning up sewer. I was like, you're funny, Lord. But from that, I learned how to work, going to the next level, running a couple of franchisee company, and next thing you know, I create my own franchise company. So it's just like, again, Romans 8:28, everything works together for good. As we have called to His purpose, love Him, and every time I face hard situation, I just release that verse to myself, man.
Dude, that's really cool. I think it's a great testimony. It's a powerful thing to share. You say in general, and I'm happy to see you living that out. Because as hard as it might be to walk into that, again, it's really can be incredibly simple. And then when you accept that or acknowledge how simple it can be, and are willing to step into those moments of uncertainty, it's really quite freeing when you let go of the outcome and just trust where He's put you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because surrendering is also an act of faith. A lot of people, they forget about that, right?
Yes.
When the moment that you surrender is because you can do nothing else.
It's not giving up.
It's not giving up. It's not giving up at all. Mm-hmm. But God wants you to give yourself up.
Yes.
It's similar, but it's two different meaning.
Yeah.
It's two different meaning. And, you know, the moment that we say like, God, I trust you, sometimes it's a choice. But most people wait until they have no choice to trust God. Yeah. But that's the funny thing, right? That little situation, but can you be intentionally to trust Him instead of you have no choice other than trust Him? So if you are at the first place intentionally to trust Him, I really don't think at one point God gonna make you like, you've been doing your own way, now you better trust me. If the first place, the Israelites believe that there's promised land, I'm guiding you towards it, follow me. But they didn't. Right? They didn't. They made the choice of wrongdoings, whatever they do, until God make you, okay, 40 years, we're wandering around. And that's a lot of time what happened in our life. We're wandering around when we know that this is our calling. You just got to be aligned. But guess what? We're human beings. We're stubborn. We're just like, you know what? I know it better. I'll talk to you later, God, whenever I need you, whenever I want to trust you. So it's different type of choice to it, but it's easier when you choose to be aligned.
And when you live that way over a period of time, you can then look back and see all of the miracles, like the impossibilities, the things that on paper didn't make any sense, the things that we believe wouldn't even happen, but that are actually happening. You can look back and see the results of living a life like that, and how powerful that is. Right? Like the proof is in the pudding when you can look back in hindsight at that point. But it all starts with the trust.
With the trust,
with the surrender, and acknowledging where all of this came from to begin with.
No, that's definitely it, man. That's has to be done. I mean, easier to say than done, of course.
Of course.
Again, we're human being, and for myself, man, every day I was like, you gotta endure. You know, when people tell you like, you know, live your life happy, do whatever make you happy, and then you know what's the word that I've been hurt this past year, bro? Like the last probably like year, 6 months to a year, keep suffering, keep struggling. That's not the word you want to hear.
That's an interesting choice. I don't
That's
like
not
that
the
either.
word that you want to hear.
No.
Like when God tell you keep suffering, keep struggling. People that I met out of nowhere, and they're like, there's fruit in struggle. There's fruit in suffering. You go to church, suffering. And I was like, all right, Lord, let yours will be done. You know, because suffering can take you to the next level. Because again, people always say it's like, oh, no pain, no gain. But what kind of pain though? The pain in long period of time, which means suffering, the process of being struggling, if you can embrace that for me, that's the real meaning of growth. Right? When you're actually willing to struggle and suffer in period of time, and you choose to do so. You don't have to. A lot of people just like, you know what, I'm out of here. You know, like, you know what, the marriage is getting hard, I'm out of here. You know, like the business is getting hard, Dipo, I want to sell the business.
Because of the next shiny object.
Exactly. You know, I can make money getting a job, I can make money putting money in crypto right now, I can make money. It's like, okay, but people always think about, you know, I got to do work, and that work has to work for me. Instead of I got to do the work, let that work on me. So they focus on the result, right? The reward instead of themselves. So I was like, that's funny. So you want to make $1 million, but you don't want to go through the process of your characters, of your personal gain in your characters, your knowledge, your skills, actually in the process of making that $1 million. Because that's going to take you to the next level. You have $1 million with the mindset of $100,000, you still don't go anywhere. You just get lucky.
Lose it,
You just get lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was like, I always tell people like, you want to focus on the shiny object like that, you might get lucky.
If you're playing the long game, I agree on that approach. And framing suffering in a way where you're offering it for the right reasons. Right? Some people make very silly decisions and then say, oh, I'm suffering, I'm going through the grind, but it's disconnected with their true identity. In many cases, not in all cases, but when you're suffering for the right reasons, when you're embracing the call that God has in your life, and in that there is suffering, I think that that's a very powerful thing, and you can attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, again, without Jesus' suffering, there's no salvation, right?
You're right.
So we're all grateful for his suffering, his struggling, his crucifixion, and yet when time for us to carry that cross and we suffer, we choose to let go and like, adios, I can do this, God. I mean, I'm struggling with that every day. You know, it's like how many times.
Easier said than done, for sure.
Yeah, and like it's just hard, you know?
No, I love that. I'm glad our conversation went there first.
Of course, man.
There's so much gold in that. I mean, the character development, I think is very rich there. So thanks for touching on those. And
of course, man.
I do want to talk a little bit about, how you ended up where you're at now, and then talk about the things that made you successful leading up to now. So where are you at now? What are you doing nowadays?
So I mean, of course, you guys, some people mostly already know like the Paleta Bar being kind of like one of our big hit, and then Potato Corner being my first. We are here for a reason. It's my first. That's why I chose this space. First of my entrepreneurship, my leadership being shaped over here, and then we got spring rolling across the street. Still do that one too. I'm part of the Foot Cup, Tin Can Alley, Green Jeans, and then Cheddar Pain. We still do that one too. And then Juice Ritual, actually just I got into that, with Brian Velasquez. He's been running the show. I started learning to let go and just going to the high level things that I can do to focus with. Real estate, man, that's been huge. I mean, I know last time when I spoke and I share with my goal, even with 40 under 40, Albuquerque Journal, so I was actually speaking life into myself about real estate. And this last year, man, it's been a huge blessing that, the guy that I've been looked up to, I mean, I've known him probably like 7-8 years. He actually offered me the opportunity to partner up with him, get me under his wing in a way, but not just for real estate, just personal life. He's a man of faith as well, a family man. So it's a blessing for him to put me under his wing. And yeah, dude, so I mean, it's been huge blessing, dude. And of course, more concept coming, man. I love doing what I do. I love doing it.
And that's the thing that catches my attention the most, that you love what you do.
Yeah.
It's there's so much stuff going on in life in general for most people. There's always stuff to do.
Yeah.
But to actually love what you do is a different story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who they grab on all the things and they don't even like it.
Yeah.
Right? Again, it's disconnected from who they are meant to be. So for you to have things in your life that are so connected to who you are and who you're called to be is awesome.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
actually, you point on that, man. I'm actually learning this year, especially about alignment. So when I say the word alignment, like you're saying, it's okay to suffer for the right reason, for God's calling, for God's purpose. But when you're actually aligned with your core values, so I start focusing on my core values, because sometimes I feel like, nah, it's okay. I just want to help this person. No, it's okay. You know what? It's only one type of deal. That's the one that get me in trouble. More headache,
Yeah.
burning bridges, fight, arguing. And I got to the point like, why is that? Because this is my alignment. This is God's words. He gave me my core values. Now, I don't even do that no more. Like, this is not aligned.
I love that.
No, have a good day.
I
I
love
prefer do that.
That is a very interesting thing, and I think that leads us into what your personal definition of success is right now. What makes you successful, and if you can, tie it back into some of those core values, because there's a lot of people. I have a hard time aligning my actions with the things that I believe in, and it gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
You just said it gets you in trouble, and I'm curious what that definition of success is for you and how you're aligning your actions to match up with that.
Yeah. So I mean, at this current moment, for me, like success is about alignment of God's will towards the purpose that He has called me to be. Like that alignment based on, again, I was mentioning core values. My core value number one will be God. So if I know that God give me the Holy Spirit and it's not the right thing to do, it's not the right way, I better not doing it. I'm a human being. I'm tempted. I just want to do it. But at the same time, in the long game, it's going to get me in trouble. So for me, being successful every single day is by aligning everything that I do, everything that I say, everything that I think of towards the purpose of God in my life. If He has called me day by day, one day at a time, Dipo, this meeting, this podcast here, I pray about it this morning. What do you want to share? He gave me the word alignment. That's what I'm going to share. So success for me, again, man, is alignment to His will. And that's going to lead me to the purpose He has called me to be. And that's going to lead me from success, living significant life, and creating legacy. So I wanna hit that all the way up, man. I got to create legacy for my future generation, for generation to come.
You get me all pumped up.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to
Gotta
run through
do
it
it.
all.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Well, moving forward in the next 3 to 5 years, obviously a lot can change, but what is success for you then? What things do you believe you're growing into?
So, I mean, right now, again, God number one. People always say family comes first. When God changed my mind, no, God comes first. I know what I need. I will keep seeking Him. And then at this point too, I've been working a lot, especially with marriage. I'm learning the hardest way. Marriage is hard, man. It's hard. Marriage is probably like the hardest one that I've been dealing with, because it's not a contract, it's a covenant. To understand that in the moment that it's a contract, I got a bad business deal, I'm out. But a lot of people treating marriage like business deal. But you already know when you say yes I do, is till death do us apart. It's a covenant. It's a covenant with you and God. The covenant is not being made between me and her, me and God. So I gotta live by that. So I want to have successful marriage as the byproduct of me keep working on myself. Well, of course, my wife, she's working on herself. We keep working on us together. Family, with my son right now, I mean, he's 13 years old, dude. He's in that age that I'm also be like, can you please respect me? I want you to respect me. But then God teaching me too. Trust, love, respect. We always think it's earned. No, I want to, you want to get this, you got to earn my trust. No, they're all given. Whatever I do, not going to make him respect me or not if he doesn't want to give that respect to me. He can respect me today, not tomorrow, but respect is given. Trust is given. You can burn me right now, and I still choose like, you know what, Dusty? It's a mistake. I understand your situation. You have family issue. Let's do it again. It means I give you the trust. You don't have to earn it. You already burn it.
Yeah.
Because that's what God did to us. We burn every single bridges we can, but He chooses to love us because it's given. He chooses to give us the kindness because it's given. He chooses to give us the mercy because it's given. He chooses to give us the grace because it's given. So I start embracing that, and of course, understanding that is gonna lead me to better family life. Like I was mentioning earlier to you, my dad, my mom, my niece, my nephew, my sister-in-law, they're all moving here for good too. Right now I'm blessed enough to be able to take care of them in a way, and I'm working on them too, because how can I still manage this set of family, my own family, and my wife also have their own family, how we can come together to also have the restoration, reconciliation in our family together to create, again, successful family. So, and business, after that, in everything I do, of course, I want it to be growing in a way. Potato Corner, Paleta Bar, Fuck Up, Spring Rolling, all the businesses, I want them to grow. I mean, I'm a grinder. Some people like, I will keep showing my grit to make it happen. But I have to understand, to be able to lead into that success, I have to understand the priority of life. Because I'm not chasing the balance of life, man. I don't know. I still don't believe in balance of life. I only believe in prioritizing. Because balance is just, you cannot be having focus and balance together. When I'm laser focused on one thing, I'm out of town doing my business for Paleta Bar grand opening, I will be laser focused on that. Because the moment that I'm trying to chase balance, I'm going to call my wife for 3 hours because that's what we deal with, I don't think I can keep that balance.
I started, and this was a suggestion from a mentor of mine, replacing balance with harmony. For things to be in harmony with one another. And it shifted the way that I thought about life in general, because a lot of people talk about the balance, and it's interesting. It's really cool to see someone living their life in a way where God comes first, your spiritual life comes first, your family comes second, and then the business and all of the stuff comes third. And being able to prioritize that appropriately is awesome to see in a world that romanticizes entrepreneurship, romanticizes the grind and the hustle and all of this crazy stuff, but forgets to put God first, forgets to put family first. For your definition of success, leading with those pieces, I know it's easier said than done, and I struggle with this too a lot. A lot of people get upset with me for mishandling that, but that's incredibly powerful to hear that's the frame of mind that you're living life with. And I will be praying for you every day that your actions can align with those priorities, because it's not easy, especially in this world. But it's great to hear. So thank you for sharing.
Of course, man. Of course.
Well, we'll get this wrapped up. I do want to ask, how can the community help you?
Keep us in prayers. bring my family, like my marriage, my businesses in prayers. And of course, anytime you get stopped by at any of my businesses, it's actually supporting us in the biggest way possible, share to family, friends, and help us to build this community together, man.
Right
We build
on.
each other up.
Good.
So-
Well, where can people find you now, or the businesses? What places should they go online?
Yeah, so at this moment right now, my personal social media, I actually deactivated so I can stay focused, of course, towards things that I do. And I know God's timing is going to be revealed in the biggest way to build this community too. My businesses, man, people think like they're like I'm disappearing or anything. No, you guys come. I still sell fries. I still shake fries. I still dip the paleta, rolling spring roll, juice ritual. I go over there in the morning, so they can find me anywhere, wherever my business at, man.
And just type in
I usually just be there,
type in potato corner, type in
Yep,
the
Pack
paleta
Potato
bar.
Corner, Paleta Bar. I'm still running all of those accounts too, so you guys can see me over there, you know.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it. It really was a pleasure having you on today, and I appreciate it. I got to say, actually, we didn't talk about this. Jonathan and I, behind the scenes, had been joking because there in the last several years, many podcasts had popped up, and a lot of people, I had you on there, and then just like my own podcast 5 years ago, many of them fizzled out. So Jonathan and I were like, you know what? We want to have him on, and we're going to build up a pipeline first to make sure that we follow through and actually stick through this. So in a way, this was kind of like a celebratory episode for us having you on. So thank you.
The 11, bro.
Thank you. Yeah,
the 11. So you guys ain't giving up, and
Yeah.
it's always been my honor. Like I was telling you, so proud of what Jonathan was doing. Henry, I was able to connect them. They're growing further, and I'm sure that yourself too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
God is the faith.
Absolutely.
Sky's the limit, man.
Love that.
Thank you so much.
Final shout out, Jonathan.
Jonathan, Jelubi.
Yep,
You guys
Jelubi.
keep looking for big things he's doing, man.
Yeah, he's been crushing it. I couldn't do it without him, so I'm grateful to have him behind the camera.
Of course, man.
But, that's it. That's episode number 11. Thank you for being
Thank
on
you
the
so
show.
much.
And we'll see you next time.
God bless you guys. Thank you.